Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. But also, if you are new here, if this is your first video of mine, I'm so sorry. This is completely different than the kinds of videos I typically make on my channel, but I do feel that they're entertaining nonetheless, so I hope you do stick around. My name is Hannah, and on my channel I post primarily anti-MLM content, which naturally gets lots of interesting comments, lots of opinions that people love to voice to me, and this is the second video in my Reading Mean Comments series. I've decided to just make it a series every so often. Once I compile a few comments, I'll drop one of these videos so that we can talk about them, we can learn from them, and we can have a good laugh too. There have been lots of horrible things that have been said to me recently that I do plan on showing you here, but before we do that, I have a few disclaimers. First and foremost, the purpose of this video is not to put these commenters on blast. Me making this video and showing you these comments is not your permission slip to go hunt these people down and give them your 2 cents and leave them a nasty comment in return. I promise I'm fine, it's okay, the world goes on, I don't need defending. Secondly, if it hasn't been clear already, this video is not to gain sympathy. The goal is rather to entertain you, and hopefully this video can be somewhat educational in order to give you hopefully a positive example of how to handle mean comments if they do come your way. Because let's be honest, that if you're gonna put yourself out on the internet like I have, people are gonna have all kinds of opinions, and there are lots of people out there who have no problem voicing those opinions to you. And this is the kind of video I wish I had before I started my YouTube channel to show me how to cope with negative comments. And I don't want to say like normalizing it. This is something that should not be normalized. Nobody deserves to have nasty comments directed at them. It's not okay, it's not normal, it's not respectable, but to an extent it is inevitable. And my hope is that with this series of videos, I'm able to be that good example of how to find the humor in the insane things that people will say behind a screen and how to brush it off and not let it negatively affect you. Because it is really difficult, and sometimes comments can be really hurtful, and it's taken me a long time to learn how to cope with it and learn from it. And my hope is that I can impart some of what I've learned onto you through these videos in a funny and lighthearted way. So without further ado, I think I have like 19 comments that I've collected over the past couple months. So let's see what people have to say. Let's give them their time in the spotlight. Megan says, very hypocritical. You don't want to have negativity on your channel, but your whole channel is an anti-channel, as well as shaming people's businesses. Yikes. My assumption is that Megan is in an MLM. And I want to make the distinction between information and education and shaming something. If me presenting factual information about a business model makes you feel shame, I would urge you to investigate that a little bit deeper. And I mean this in like the least snarky way possible. Feeling guilt or shame around being involved with an MLM company is a very common experience, and that is something that tons of people have to work through as they're deprogramming themselves after coming out of their MLM. There is a lot of emotional and mental work that needs to be done. So when I get comments like this where people are saying I'm hypocritical, I'm negative, I have an anti-channel where I am shaming people, it's very clear to me the frame of mind that that person is coming from when they're leaving that comment. And it also makes perfect sense to me because these people are trained to think this way. They're trained to think that anybody on the anti-side, they're bad, they're negative, they should be avoided. That's part of the programming of an MLM. That's part of the brainwashing of an MLM. People are taught and trained not to seek out any kind of outside information from the other side, the anti-side, because God forbid you actually listen to what they have to say, because if you did, then you might be swayed, then you might be convinced, and we can't have that because that little pyramid structure only survives if people join and remain in the pyramid. You can't have people learning the truth and quitting all the time, and that's why the information control is so heavy in these MLMs, and I get comments like this all the time. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. All I see here is someone who's very deep in an MLM, and I hope the very best for them, that one day they will come out of it, they will be able to look back and reflect on that experience, and that they will be better because of it. Credible Sources says, I like the topic, but I think there's just too much commentary and the intro is way too long. I won't be subscribing. And I said, fine by me. Imagine being upset that a commentary creator has, quote, too much commentary in their videos. I cracked up at this comment. This was so funny to me. It's like, excuse me, sir, are you lost? Do you see the banner at the top of my channel page? It does say commentary channel. Quite literally, the purpose of my videos is to give commentary. I also get a huge kick out of when people feel like they have to announce to you why they're not subscribing or why they're unsubscribing. That's the best because they really think it gets to you, right? That'll show her. Okay, fine. Perfectly fine by me. I think my channel's gonna be okay if Credible Sources doesn't subscribe. This comment was left on Horror Stories 23, and I'm only bringing that up because there was a story in that video that talked about the mind-body connection. We had this whole discussion about like depression and anxiety and how your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs, your attitudes towards the world do sometimes have the ability to impact our physical, biological functions. And I also was pretty open about my own struggling with anxiety and panic attacks and how a thought I can have can trigger this entire waterfall spiral of physical symptoms. It's something I've struggled with for a while. I'm very open about that. But Edit With Me says, believing in the mind-body connection is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That's like saying I believe that my arms are a part of my body. So unfortunately, I had to respond, letting this person know the mind is not a physical body part. It's an element of one's consciousness. And quite honestly, reading this comment about someone who doesn't believe in the mind-body connection, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. This is such a well-researched topic. There is actual concrete evidence that our thoughts, feelings, beliefs have the ability to impact the way our bodies function. That's just a fact. Like, that has been scientifically proven. I mean, just think of this on like the most basic level. Have you ever had this experience where you're super busy doing whatever, you have your head down, hours and hours go by, you've forgotten to eat, and then you're scrolling on social media and you see a picture of food, or you walk past your fridge and you go, oh, food, and then immediately your stomach starts to growl, you start to salivate. That's a physiological response to something that you thought about. That is a mind-body connection. And I'm not gonna lie, when I read this comment, I took a little bit of offense to it. Not even so much personally, but I took offense on behalf of the writer of the story, because in that story, she was detailing this very vulnerable experience about how she went through a very severe, life-threatening reaction to hearing something that somebody in an MLM said to her. She received information that somebody told her, and her body had this incredible reaction to it. And I kind of get defensive of these people's personal stories because that's their own experience, that's their own truth. And if I have somebody telling me that like I heard this thing and my body went into shock, who is this person to comment being like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard? It is so rude, it's so unnecessary, and it makes this person look incredibly ignorant. NSC Mods commented on my last Reading Mean Comments video, and I believe that this is in response to me saying, this video is not your permission to go hunt these people down and leave your own comments. And this person says, I knew they were mean comments, LOL. I wouldn't hunt them down. Oh no, I would thanks them, give them a high five, right on. And it feels like this person's intention is to be like, I knew that you got mean comments, and I wouldn't go hunt them down to disagree. I would go give them a high five. And I'm just like, okay, buddy. I don't know. This is giving me like 11-year-old boy vibes. Someone who just snuck onto the family computer and created themselves a Google account for the sheer purpose of going and leaving nearly unintelligible comments on other people's videos. Atomic B5172 says, whether you are an MLM hunbot or an anti-MLM hunbot, you are still a social media idiot who makes all women look bad for personal benefit. So that's interesting because I view my content as a form of advocacy and a form of education. However, I don't feel like this topic of content has anything to do with personal benefit, and it has everything to do with advocating for the people who have been victimized by this predatory business model. And as it pertains to women specifically, the root of my argument surrounds the fact that I want women to be paid their worth, and that MLM companies disproportionately take advantage of women. And my goal with these videos is to educate women on how to protect themselves against being preyed on by money-making schemes. And of course, yes, men are involved with this too. Men get involved with MLMs too, but primarily women are the targets, and that is what I speak about a lot in my videos. And personally, I don't feel like this makes me a quote anti-MLM hunbot who makes women look bad for my personal benefit. But I will say that this account in particular went on this absolute rampage of of leaving other really nasty derogatory comments towards women. I don't know what that's all about, such as these MLMs show most women to be one of two things, sleazy or stupid, most likely a combination of both. MLMs just prove how unethical most women actually are. You would never see nearly as many men being so sleazy with each other. MLM women are either unethical, very dumb, or most likely both. A scary view into this woman's mental health status. Just imagine being legally attached to this woman, aka marriage. Funny how all these women like to talk with their fake nails. Okay, you get the point. That's like 1/4 of the comments that they left. I'm getting extremely sexist vibes from this person. Don't love that. And actually, I only discovered those other comments today when I was compiling all of these for this video. I had this one saved because it seemed like it was directed at me being an anti-MLM hunbot. But in my YouTube studio in the back end, I typed in their name and saw everything else they were commenting, and I do not condone that. So after this video, I will be going through and removing those really negative, nasty, sexist comments towards the people in my videos, because a lot of those were directed at the MLM reps that I feature in my videos, and even though I'm featuring them, I do not condone that kind of language towards those people. They don't deserve that, and I will be going through and deleting those comments. Tracy says, slow down, you are talking 100 miles an hour. So, from now on, I will be speaking at 1 mile per hour. I just said YouTube has a playback speed setting if you would like to slow down the video. Criticized over the pace at which I speak. Everybody has an opinion on every last detail of how I make my videos, but luckily in this case, YouTube has a setting for that, and you have the power to adjust the playback speed if you think that I speak too fast. But just so she got her point across, Tracy commented a second time, take a breath. AB says, too much blah 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 between stories. Can you just read the stories? Jez! Obviously in reference to the fact that I give my own commentary when I'm reading stories for my MLM Horror Stories series. Do I talk a lot? Yes, I do. Do I provide a commentary? Yes, I do. Because what kind of videos do I create? Say it together now. Commentary videos. If you don't like commentary, don't watch commentary content. June Harsh says, you sound so mean in this. Why are you getting so defensive? You're a literal Karen. Make better content. All these comments are right. You need to get a life, lady. And this was also commented on my last Reading Mean Comments video, and I replied saying, thank you for this constructive advice. I will get right to work making better content and getting a life tomorrow. It is so clear to me that this is a troll account. June Harsh with a picture of Zendaya as their profile picture. I mean, come on. But as you can see here, there's 121 replies under this comment. Lots of people said, I think this is just satire. I think this is just a funny comment. Can't you see that she's just joking? But I want you to know that she's not joking, okay? She really is this awful. She came back to this video a month later. This just happened a couple days ago. And she left this comment saying, LMAO, not Hannah Alonso liking every comment no matter what it says because she has nothing better to do. This seems like she's just got her panties in a wad about the fact that I liked her comment of her being nasty to me. But here's a reality check, okay? I don't like every comment. I don't respond to every comment. I would have no life if I did that. There absolutely was a time several months ago where I had the time to go through, actually like and comment and interact and respond to every comment I ever received. And I love doing that. I love connecting with people who comment on my videos. But at this time, the way I do things is I have a set time in the day where I go through, I skim through the comments, I see what people's reactions are, I take in feedback, but I actually do not have time to interact with them all anymore. And so the idea that this person thinks that I have nothing better to do than to be looking through my comment section, liking everything no matter what it says, is highly entertaining to me. And to make matters worse, only 4 minutes after she left that comment, she went to MLM Horror Stories number 25, where I was wearing my hair up in a bun, and she said, at Hannah Alonso, maybe just keep your hair down so you don't look bald. Just an idea. Oh my god. She was clearly hopping from video to video for the purpose of leaving nasty comments. You tell me, Miss Harsh, who has more time on their hands right now? So going back to her first comment telling me that I sound so mean and defensive and that I'm a literal Karen and that I need to make better content and get a life, I don't think that was satire. I think this person is serious. I think this person just genuinely enjoys being nasty behind a troll account. Priscilla says, girl, you can trash talk the business all day because who cares? Honestly, the products works though. You can't even knock it unless you've tried it. I don't want to hear about lawsuits either because Olaplex, every other brand under the sun has lawsuits, LOL. And I just responded, thanks for your input, Priscilla. Wishing you all the best because very clearly she's in Monate. I didn't check, I can't confirm that, but this is screaming Monate hun. She left this comment on an MLM top fails video where I featured lots of different companies. I had like 5 or 6 different MLMs to talk about in that video, and not once did I ever mention anything about lawsuits. And so the fact that she's clearly personally offended by the lawsuit argument and wants to make it clear that even another shampoo company, Olaplex, has them, clearly my friend Priscilla is in Monate. And that's totally fine, and I don't ever want to be combative with people who are in MLMs who do choose to respond to my videos, because this comment has nothing to do with me. It's clear that this person is pretty deep in their MLM, pretty misinformed, and is not open to hearing what I have to say. And it would be a waste of my time to respond back this big long thing trying to convince her of my point. I don't have time for that. I already have over 100 videos on my channel detailing and debunking every single thing she just said. And clearly, if she's not open to actually watching the video and receiving the information, she's not going to be open to whatever I have to say in a comment. And like I kind of touched on previously, comments from MLM reps bother me exactly 0% because I understand the frame of mind that they're in, and I also understand that their anger and frustration is misdirected at me. This comment was left on Horror Stories number 22. This is the most viewed video on my channel where the thumbnail is of me crying because there was a really horrendous and tragic story that I read and my emotions just kind of overcame me in that moment and I got really upset in a way that I don't typically do. And Dylan San Diego has to say, oh my God, why would she not cut all the tears? How am I supposed to keep a straight face when homegirl over here is taking a Reddit story to the soul, laughing my ass off? And I said, not a Reddit story. This is someone's personal experience they emailed to me for the purpose of this video. I will not apologize for being compassionate and empathetic. I won't. I will never apologize for having feelings and for caring about other people. What I'm thinking happened here, because that video kind of blew up, I think the algorithm really loved it and it pushed it out to a whole bunch of people that have no idea what my channel even is. I got so many comments on that video saying, what is an MLM? Like, it was very clear to me that people arrived at that video without really knowing how they got to it. Maybe it was just suggested to them on their homepage and they clicked on it because of the thumbnail and the title or something. And I'm trying to give this person the benefit of the doubt that they really don't understand like what the purpose of those horror story videos is, and that they didn't really know that this is a series I have where people send me anonymous emails and I read them, because there absolutely are YouTube channels that legitimately take like creepypasta Reddit stories and they just read them for entertainment value. So I'm giving this person a little bit of a pass that they maybe just didn't know what they stumbled on and they thought I was like overdoing the theatrics to a fake story or something. But if this person actually is serious here, imagine being this passionately angry that someone got emotional over someone's tragic story. Must be rough for you, buddy. Wingate Goodlettsville says, if you haven't been involved or tried it, it's nice to go around putting companies down. Not cool. Riddle me this. Why is it that people who leave mean comments seem to have no idea what proofreading is? I'm not kidding. This is like a genuine concern I have, okay? Is it just that they're so passionately like rage typing that they don't go back and look at what they said? So many of my mean comments have spelling errors and I cannot decipher what they're saying. I'm assuming that this person is attempting to say that if I have not been in an MLM, I don't have room to speak on why they're bad. Oh, is me sharing facts from companies' own documents painting them in a bad light? You're right, that's not cool, but it's also not my fault. That's what I think is so entertaining, because people are like, you're making the company look so bad and you haven't even tried it. There are lots of things in this world that I don't need to try to know that they're bad. And additionally, I am very transparent about exactly where I get my information from. There is a section in the description box of every single one of my videos that says sources for this video. And I link to you exactly where I got everything to support my argument. And 9 times out of 10, that's the company's website, the company's policies and procedures, the company's income disclosure, or the company's compensation plan. I don't see it as, quote, putting companies down. I see it as using their own resources and their own materials to support the argument that they are scams. It is not my fault that they are scams. Don't shoot the messenger. Natalie says, like your voice. I wish you would just stay natural. No makeup is better for you. Well, Miss Natalie, I did not ask. I really like to wear makeup. I really like to not wear makeup, but the thing is, you don't get to choose if I wear makeup or not. Just a PSA. If a woman wants to wear makeup, get Botox, get plastic surgery, dye their hair, cut their hair, get their nails done, get their eyebrows waxed, whatever it is, that's their prerogative. We should all be supportive of that, and it is not your place to voice your opinion on what you think that other women should be doing with their appearances. Dimples says, why the need to edit every few seconds? And I said, because I make lots of mistakes while speaking and my raw footage is 3 times longer than the edited footage. I edit it down so you don't have to sit through mistake after mistake. You're welcome. And genuinely, you are welcome, because my raw footage is painful. Oh my god, it is the worst. It takes me so long to film and so long to edit because I cannot speak correctly. I re-say every sentence like 5 times. So that is why my videos are heavily edited. I will say I have gotten a bit better about this. I'm getting more in the swing of being able to say like long phrases without taking a pause, but I promise you, you would be ripping your hair out trying to watch my videos if I didn't edit out all of my long pauses, my breaths, the sentences that I repeat 10 times over. So yes, you're welcome for that. Be thankful that you don't have to be on the editing end of my videos, okay? Manda says, do any North American women talk properly anymore? I'm so sick of vocal fry and I really can't listen to it anymore. Why do you have to growl at the end of every sentence? It's absolutely awful to listen to. This comment, I saved it for last because if she has a point, I didn't want to point it out at the beginning of the video and then have you be annoyed by my voice the whole rest of the video. But this comment has layers to it. First of all, the assumption that North American women don't talk properly is kind of interesting. When somebody has a vocal fry, it typically means that they draw out their words. There's this raspiness or this quote growl that she's referring to, or like a crackling almost. So you could say the word whatever, or you could say the word whatever. And there's a difference and you can feel it. And honestly, I'm getting over being sick. And so I have had a vocal fry like the past week because I've been congested and coughing and all that stuff. Part of why I left this comment for the end of the video, because I might have a vocal fry today. When I got this comment like a month ago, I posted it on my Instagram story and I had 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, speech therapists, speech pathologists come to me in my DMs and say, you do not have a vocal fry. So I'm taking the professional's word for it. I don't think that this is something that I struggle with in my speech. However, after I got this comment, I kind of went on this deep dive about vocal fry and kind of the history and where it came from in pop culture. And I found myself in this very fascinating rabbit hole all about how ridiculing vocal fry like this woman is doing is a sexist concept. I'll link a few of the articles I read down below. They are beyond fascinating, but basically this vocal fry, growly, raspy kind of thing, it is becoming more popular, and it's kind of given these connotations of like the Kardashians and Valley Girl, therefore meaning uneducated, airhead, it's too casual, it's ditzy, it's unprofessional. And in recent years, as this characteristic has grown in popularity and more young millennial women are starting to take on this characteristic, it's had a very interesting impact on their employability, on their role in the workplace, on people taking them seriously. As a society, we have taken this characteristic and we have given it a negative connotation. And so now, particularly women who are the ones who are being targeted, as this woman is saying in her comment about North American women and how we don't talk properly anymore, that right there is a sexist statement. And that's coming from a place of having that negative connotation that we have given it as a society. It is unbelievably fascinating. I would highly encourage you to do your own research on that and to read up on this issue, because if I have a vocal fry or if I don't, why does it matter, right? Why are we annoyed by it? Why does it make that person seem less credible? Why do people have the assumption that North American women don't talk properly? Because I'll be honest, when I first read this comment, I was like offended. Like, oh, I don't sound like that. I don't have a vocal fry. I am a poised woman who speaks eloquently. But as I did some digging, I was quickly kind of checked on that. It kind of got me thinking, why does a vocal fry even matter? Why do people seem to have such a visceral reaction to it? Anyway, you get what I'm saying. I highly encourage you to read up on it. Although this kind of struck me at first as like a really rude comment, it did get me thinking about things that I haven't thought about before, and for that, Manda, I am grateful. And with that, my friends, that's all of the mean comments I have to feature in this video. I hope I was able to highlight some teachable moments, but if nothing else, I hope this was entertaining and fun and lighthearted. Receiving mean or angry or hateful or negative or whatever you want to call it type comments do have the tendency to really wear people down and be that negative cloud over this kind of job. And it is pretty cathartic to me to be able to just screenshot it, set it aside, come back to it, and have a good laugh about it later. So thank you for humoring me and for giving me this outlet to have kind of this cathartic release of all of these negative comments. And Zeke came to say hello right at the very, very end. If that isn't a positive way to end the video, I don't know what is. If you're gonna leave me a mean comment, make it a good one. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in my next one real soon.